Hey, how you doing, guys? Recently I did a video of the OWC breakdown of the iMac Pro, and here recently, a couple days ago, iFixit also released their own breakdown of the iMac Pro, and I got some additional information that's very important, very related to the OWC breakdown. Now, some of which I didn't talk about last video, but I'm going to talk about now. Um, for one thing, it does use quad core memory, which are standard sizes. As those types have to use ECC memory, because remember this is considered a workstation iMac with the iMac Pro. So it doesn't use the smaller laptop versions because I don't think they're either that or they're very hard to find in ECC memory. So they're the type you find in desktops. And this comes to a question with iCraft Video, um, considering its RAM. Hi, Steve. Love the informative video. I have a question. The iMac Pro, if you get the 64 gigabyte and want to upgrade to 128, would you need another 64 gigabyte or would you have to completely swap them out for the 128? Well, considering the 32 we had to swap out completely, we may expect the same for the 128 gigabyte. I'm not saying for sure. We may have to wait around until, a user or even perhaps OWC or their breakdowns or even iFixit to come out with some more information. But I would expect to do so. I'm even considering doing a separate video on how iMacs do their RAM, some of which is kind of very interesting. I found out over the years. Now, I didn't cover this the last video because usually it's just a drop-in replacement, and in most iMacs, you can simply swap it out with the newest version. Now, what we find out with this new iMac Pro for iFixit is they do use custom built Intel Xeon chips for Apple. So we don't know if we can do a drop-in replacement for faster speeds or more cores, or even perhaps the next new version. So that's what I wanted to add to this. Also, what we found out with the iFixit breakdown is we already know that the SSDs come in pairs, which are RAID 0. But these SSDs are also custom made for Apple, which also questions whether we can simply drop in a replacement for these for upgrades. And this also goes to another question from Michael Cavalieri. He goes, "Hey Steven, it seems like High Sierra with APFS file system doesn't support RAID 0 for a new install. Do you think there is something special with the hardware and or software on your iMac Pro that allow this configuration?" And that is a great question because I totally forgot when High Sierra came out that at the time it didn't support RAID 0 or even I believe the Fusion drives. And thank you for that question because that reminded me of that. And that kind of goes back with the custom SSDs. Perhaps that's how they get around the RAID 0 problem. Perhaps they have an additional controller in each one or somewhere in the hardware for that. I'm not sure. The best thing to do is we're going to have close watch of OWC and iFixit. OWC especially, they do breakdowns because they come out with their own upgrade kits and do their own testing as far as supported RAM and supported of their own version of SSD drives. And usually that's one of the two best places to go for that. And that kind of makes me think if upgradeability and replacement is a priority for you, if you're buying a pro computer, I probably would kind of shy away from the iMac Pro for right now, or until we know information about these customized Xeon chips and customized SSD drives. Perhaps maybe an iMac or a regular iMac maxed out might be better. And don't forget, Apple's coming out with a new modular Mac Pro. Supposedly this year in 2018, we will see. And it's definitely something I would like to discuss as well. And of course, you guys have some great questions. Until then, hopefully this was informative for you. And until then, see you later.